this mighty country, to capture it. You prayed for it, I've given it to you. You signed a document, you will get it. 2 weeks later, the payment was due, the down payment. One day before, the money came in. I don't know why God always tends to act just 24 hours before. But the money came in, and they gave us a station, and we got on the air. We've been on the air for nearly a year now. Of that $1 million station, we've been able to pay $500,000, and another $200,000 is coming in a few days. And we've all suffered. We've all been through difficult times. But God's fingerprint, God's peace has been on everyone. Everybody knows it's God's station. The South American division recently sent a team of people to Belo Horizonte to do documentaries on all the people that have walked into the church. Entire families, even other pastors from other denominations that have come to the conviction that Jesus is coming back and He is to be honored through keeping all of His commandments. It doesn't stop with one station. It goes into a different stage now. After 1 year on the air, I received another phone call. This time it wasn't from the number 3rd city, it was from the number 1 city. The 3rd largest city in the world. 22 million people live in Sao Paulo. It's a massive city. I received a phone call saying, would you come meet with us? I'm an owner of a television network that covers a large part of Brazil. Would you come meet with me? I'm aware of your other station in Belo Horizonte, and I want to talk to you. So I went to talk to him. We met in this beautiful building, gorgeous building, up on the 3rd floor. He had a boardroom, views, windows, in one of the most prestigious parts of town. We sat there and he said, I've been watching your station. I like your programming. I have a network that has 17 stations, and I want to sell you this network. Would you be interested? I would never say no to that. I'm incapable of saying no to an opportunity after I've learned so much that what God can do. So I said, yes, I'm interested. He said, I'll send you all the information. He did. Initially, he was asking $24 million. I sat on it for a while. I wasn't totally at ease with that. But I said, Lord, I'll pray about it. And several months went by. I was getting ready to go to Colombia for a week of prayer, and I received a phone call. David, are you interested in this network? Because we have another offer now from a televangelist, one of those evangelists that heals people, knocks them down and shouts and so on. And he's offering $16 million for 80% of the station. But I know you want all of it. I know you want 100%. You have first bids on it. Do you want it or not? I said, yes, I do. Then send your man. Well, I went on to Colombia. While I was in Colombia, I received daily phone calls from the man I sent over there to the pastor from Venezuela, the Brazilian pastor. Went back and started negotiating, and I received daily phone calls from him. David, this is what they want, this is what they want. And it was an impasse. We weren't reaching anywhere. After 2 days of negotiations, they had not given us anything of what we wanted. They were still insisting on the full amount. They wanted immediate payment of large amounts, and they wanted us to make a payment and wait for 6 months till they could get the other station off the air they were leasing it to. And God's money tied up that way, I just didn't feel at ease. So finally he recommended, let's not buy it. These people are not willing to negotiate. Why don't we look elsewhere? Maybe we can do it cheaper. Maybe over a period of 5 to 10 years. I said, I'm sorry, we don't have 5 or 10 years. Time is now. And God has developed this network for us to use, for God's people to reach everybody in the world. Entire mature networks are falling into the hands of God's people if we will only accept them. So I said, let's pray. So we prayed, and after we were done praying, I said, Lord, during the prayer, Lord, if you want us to have this network, you have to make it evident. Have them give us what we ask for as a sign that this is what you want us to do. So after I was done praying, I told them, you go back to the negotiating table. If they, after 2 days of negotiations, at this last point, they give us what we asked for, then we know God is in it. He called me 2 hours later and he said, Pastor, raise your hands to heaven. Everything we asked for, plus more, was given to us. They gave it to us. They offered more even. So I asked him what the details. They came from 24 to 21 million, then to 19 million, and finally to $18.5 million. They also gave us 2 additional stations on the outskirts of Sao Paulo to cover areas that are on the suburbs, but that were not reached by the central signal. They also offered 30 station licenses for 30 new cities. So that would mean there would be 17 stations on the air, a satellite uplink, a full studio with trucks and everything, plus 2 new stations, plus 30 station licenses over 45 cities to reach with God's special message of His soon coming. Currently, the network is airing and in the homes of nearly 30 million people. 30 million. How much is heaven willing to pay for that? How much would heaven be willing to risk to reach 30 million people? Well, we know that Jesus would have given His life for even one soul. For 30 million, you can bet your bottom dollar, like we would say in English, that God will come through. We signed the documents. I flew to Sao Paulo. I met with the man. We've arranged a payment schedule. He's agreed to let us pay a $1 million down payment. And after just a couple of months of doing the legal paperwork with the government, they will turn over the signal to us. This last year in Belo Horizonte, with our television station there, has given us a lot of experience. We have a team of 10 persons who are working full-time in a production studio. Even though the South American division has a very wonderful signal and they've allowed us to use it as a public open signal that anybody can use to rebroadcast, we have been using that signal to fill in 24/7, while at the same time developing our own programming that will identify us as a unique television network of our own. God is providing the